Ah, a special day. A special day, a special time. What's so special? And yesterday wasn't special. Sundays is a busy day for me personally, with the 5 to 6 hours of classes. Um, I'm busier with good stuff. Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Welcome to Tanya today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zechin Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. As we share it every day with Michael from Germany, Art in Michigan, Terrence is in Melbourne, where it's nighttime. Fred in Uganda. Oh, we have Abba back in Crown Heights. Welcome, Abba. We have Rabbi all the way in Morocco joining us every day. Every day. Wow. John. I don't know. He's missed a day. I'm not certain you missed a day, John. I think you're better than me. Good morning in North Carolina. Rachamim in Houston, Texas, Boker Tov. Galisa's in Georgia with us. Rena in Colorado, Boker Tov. Tony, back with us from Costa Rica. Welcome. Tim, a complete speedy recovery, joining us in Texas. Brett is in Pennsylvania, Shavua Tov. Celeste, Chava, she is in Boulder, Colorado. Welcome as always. Moshe is in Anaheim, California. Welcome back, Moshe. Good to see you back. Diane in Arizona, with us every day, throughout the day. Daphne, a marvelous Monday. Whoa. Huh. Not Moody Monday, but a marvelous Monday. Not the Monday morning blues, but it's marvelous, no doubt. David is in Gold River, California. Boker Tov. Joseph is joining us in partly sunny New Jersey. Louise is in Sydney, Australia, where it's very light, where you go to sleep with Tanya there, which is amazing. Davida, Liba are in New York. Yes, my son. Oh, very good. Marga Lozata is in Poland. Shalom. Jane is in the Philippines, joining us. Elise in West Virginia, Boker Tov. June is also in Australia. Nice group of Australians here today. Deborah in Kitchener, Ontario, fellow Canadian, welcome. Stephanie is in Philadelphia, shalom. Not certain if you're a first time or definitely, in any case, welcome. Eugenia, fellow Canadian in Calgary, where it's probably very cold. Mark, but warm in the heart. Mark in Santa Rosa, California is joining us. Clem is in Brisbane. Oh, you had a car accident. I didn't know that. You'll send me your Jewish name and your mother's Jewish name for Refuah Shlema, we'll say. You should be gesund and well. Julia is in Pennsylvania. Welcome. Oh, okay, beautiful. Margot in Belgium, welcome. Who else is here? Jerry in Texas. All right. Beautiful. We have Instagrammers with us. We have Alice in Baltimore. We have Rachel in South Carolina. We have Sophia with us. We have Carlos rather, in Chile. Oh wow. Carlos is taking Tanya seriously, reading all the chapters inside and then doing it with us. That's beautiful. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Astro. And the Telebenta is with us. We have Vilma, Bachia, Marcy, Michael joining us. Clubhousers. Okay. What does true joy feel like? Is it you accomplish something and you have a sense of accomplishment that brings you true joy? What is that accomplishment that you feel that brings you that true joy? Is it receiving something that brings you true joy? Questions to ask ourselves. So the Alter Rebbe tells us that after dealing with our stuff, and as the old saying goes, either face your stuff or stuff your face. When you deal with the darkness, with the challenge, with the difficulty, with our lack, and exert ourselves with an effort, with a bitterness towards the spiritual state that we might be in, or the specific thing that is negative within us, and we have first a sense of sadness because we feel weighted by this negativity, but that needs to quickly to transform into a bitterness. And bitterness is never towards anybody else, but towards our own negativity. Bitterness, when it's done in the appropriate manner, is a holy emotion. Just as kindness is a holy emotion, so bitterness is also gvura, the expression of gvura. It's a holy emotion that is full of life, as opposed to sadness is full of weightedness and bringing us down, not life-giving. But that emotion of bitterness allows us to change direction. Oh, why did I say that? How could I have done that? That sentiment that allows us now to remove that negativity from within, that will give us a double measure of comfort. Because now, by dealing with what I need to deal with, I remove myself from a bad place. Or, bad. It doesn't have to be an all-intense bad place. It could be just a bad place in an incident that, misspoke or whatever. Right? Which you say into your heart that, that actually brought me to be removed from God in that moment, right? And that's a saddened thing, and it brings to that bitterness, right? That you want to not to be removed, you want to change that, you want to fix that. So you recognize that part in me is a contemptible part in me. We all have. That's the evil in us. That evil we should have contempt to evil. We hate it, right? Those that are haters, right? And they even choose a day for that. We hate that. Where does that begin? Because we hate that in us. But this is only true of that part in me that's my body, right? Or the animating soul, the animal soul, which is the animating soul. Yet, now, that was going out of a bad place, right? And now we want to go into a good space. How do I get into that good space? Because I have another part in me that is literally a part of God. A nefesh elikis, that's a chelek Hashem mamish. Right? The Alter Rebbe, it's not a figurative idea, but it is literal, mamish, a part of God. And that's present in me, and it's present in the most worthless of my fellows. As we have learned the idea of those that are lesser than us, that might be even worthless, but yet we feel less than them. They too have this part of God in them, a divine soul, a spark of godliness. It's only that the divine soul is in exile. It's in me. It's in exile. And because it's in exile, it's because of the body and the animating animal soul that is driving me, or I'm driven by it, and therefore the divine soul is deep in exile, cannot express itself. But it's still there. It's still defining me. Hasn't left me even when I've done something bad, when I've said something inappropriate. At that moment, the divine soul is there in exile. It can't express itself as someone is in prison. So what do I do now? Recognizing that this reality within me, I have to have compassion, pity over that part in me. Pity here means not to pity my bodily and animal soul's, desires and needs and perspective on life, but to have pity on the divine in me. So, what does that mean, to have pity? What will the result of having compassion for your divine soul bring you to? That you will, the Beinoni says, they say to themselves, therefore, I will make my entire aim and desire to extricate my divine soul from its exile and return it to her father, as the soul is a feminine, neshama is feminine, to her father's house. In other words, restore it to its place as in her youth meaning as it was before it came down into this world, a soul in a body. As it was before, what was it before? Completely bound up and united in one with God, absorbed in the light of God. Now too, I'm gonna extricate it. I'm going to bring it and absorb it and unite it with God. That's what I'm going to concentrate all my aspirations to do. Especially when it comes to the mitzvah of prayer. To release my divine soul then. Because it's very easy to pray and just to utter words. And it's really, to utter words takes a body to move a mouth, an animating soul, the animal soul, the animating soul to move your lips. And it's very easy to move your lips and say prayers And it's got nothing to do with your divine soul. We do it out of rote. I know, I just prayed, and I know that that's something I got to be very vigilant on top of. It's not a simple thing. Just because you're praying doesn't make it your divine soul is expressing itself. And this will allow the divine soul to take it out of its distressful exile and to be bound up with God. This is also the concept, the idea that's referred to of tshuva u'maisim tovim, the service of God that is of tshuva, penitence, return, and good deeds. The good deeds means here returning your soul, which is a part of God, to its source above. Goodness over here means God's goodness, that through the good deed, the mitzvah that I do down here, I bound up. What am I? I'm returning what? Returning the deeper me of me. And that's bringing us into a good space. So this is joy. First, dealing with the negativity from within, removing yourself from a bad place. How do you do that? When you're stuck in a bad place. That was the idea of sadness and bitterness. First saddened by that situation or that action that you took. Briefly saddened because sadness doesn't get you anywhere, because it weighs you down. But then that turns into a bitterness, which is very active. Bitter is active, right? That then allows you to change direction from the bad place that you are. Change direction, and now move out of that bad place. That itself is very comforting. That itself is a joy. That itself brings a joy. At the same time, there's another joy. Going into that good space. Well, what's the good space? Oh, bound up with Hashem through a mitzvah. That's the good space that we bring ourselves to. How do we do that? When we have the pity on that part in me, identifying, right? That positive element, holy element, most beautiful me, that is a part of God, and having pity on that to extricate it, bring it out of its exile, the exile that of the body, not allowing it to shine. And how am I going to do that? By concentrating my efforts, concentrating to bring it and bound up with God. Where will that express itself? First, the Alter Rebbe says in prayer, because that's where it's so easy to do things on autopilot. You think you're doing a mitzvah, and really, not that there isn't some value to that, by the way, just parenthetically, not to say that there isn't some value that when you pray, you put on your tefillin, men, Jewish men, after 13 and up. Not to say that there isn't a value. There is a value. But we're talking about something much more than just regular value. You can do a mitzvah that is totally based on your animal soul. Based on your actually bodily needs, even. Right? You can do that. You can observe Shabbos that way. You could eat kosher that way. And it might be just an expression of, your human slash animal animating soul. But here the Alter Rebbe is giving us a way that we can rise beyond the human condition, and that's a human condition, to the divine condition. So that's when we get ourselves first out of that bad space, that place, and now to get in that good space is to be bound up with Hashem, and that's going to be through Torah mitzvahs, that my soul is bound up with Torah mitzvahs. Right? Sorry. That, in other words, the important point over here is in the recognition of that the divine in me, that I want to extricate it from its captivity, to bring it and connect it to Hashem. That's a different mindset than, okay, I'm going to fulfill my duty in prayer, or I'm going to do acts of goodness and kindness because it's going to help somebody and it's going to make me feel good. Which, there's a value to that. But that's not a good space. And that's not real joy. Because it's all about the individual, rather the human condition that we limit ourselves to, rather than rising up to the divine condition because of the divine that's within us. Powerful. Oh. I got to tell you, folks, thank you for being here. Because of you being here, I'm inspired by the Alter Rebbe's teachings. Teaching this daily for over 15 years. Actually, I don't know if this is the 17th year even. That's how powerful and how true. Truth doesn't get stale. It only grows. It only grows in our appreciation and our understanding of it. Which is amazing. Today's lesson is in honor of my dear son, Label, which is his birthday. And also my mother, who yesterday was her birthday. It's also in honor of the neshama of Reuven Ben Tzvi, who's 56th yortzeit. I see it's Daphne's birthday, so also we honor her. And it's for a refuah shlema, speedy recovery, of Amram Halevi ben Rachel. Have a complete and speedy recovery. All right, any questions, any comments, any thoughts? A couple of people I'm going to mention again, and a couple of people came forward. And yes, it was a busy day, so I didn't have an opportunity, but today I will. But I'm going to mention again that these teachings, there are some of you that come literally every day. Many of you, I should say, come literally every day. Literally are inspired every day, as I am, and we need to get this message out. This is earth-shattering news. This is what's going to change the world for good. So I've mentioned that I need help. I need help. I need those who can help with the daily class and be aware of the 1 minute or 30-second nugget that can be put out there as, a, a vort or a thought in and of itself. And sometimes it could be much more than one. So yeah, could use many of them. So I need that person. Although Chava has come forward. Thank you, Chava. But um, that's great, and we'll be in touch. And then I need also someone who can do actual physical editing, who can take the daily teachings and edit it to take it out. You need to know how to do that and have that capability. And then we need someone who knows social media and who can post things and knows how to use taglines and use to good, thumbnails to put up to create more activity or more followers, more people watching, more viewers. All that is needed. So again, there's Rachel came forward, Chava came forward, and another person came forward. I have to remember now. Came forward, and I thank you, and I'm going to be in touch with you. I'm just putting it out there again, and let's make this happen together, and we can be the emissaries of good, emissaries of who is it?
Delivery is here for things for the kitchen, but it doesn't fit downstairs from the driveway. It won't fit under the door. No. So he wants to bring it up here, but he's like, I'm not schlepping it up the steps. So he's like, I'll leave it on the sidewalk.
Call Jeff immediately. Call Jeff because they were supposed to bring it to a warehouse. Call him immediately.
They weren't supposed to deliver it here?
No. He obviously. Well, you call him.
The delivery address was here. He showed me.
Okay, just call him.
Okay.
All right, folks. I might have to leave right now to get something done immediately. At least you sent me. Okay, send me again. Okay, thank you, Elise. Okay, beautiful. Okay, thank you. Folks, what can I tell you? You're amazing. You inspire me, and I appreciate it immensely. Let's continue our conversation tomorrow. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zuch in Kadesh, Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have an amazing, marvelous Monday. Daphne, Mazel Tov.